What's up, everybody? I'm back, Prince on the Rise, and today I want to talk about Jefferson City Penitentiary, the walls. How's everybody doing today? What? Oh my God. I'm knowing in my spirits that everyone is doing well. Listen, Tuesday, I had a careless accident where I was loading my lawnmower onto the back of my trailer. And as I was loading my lawnmower onto my trailer, I went to lift up the gate to close it. And I saw some movement on the left side of me. And when I quickly turned to see what was going on, it slipped out my hand and landed on my foot and broke my big toe, and where I had to also get 13 stitches in my foot. So, it really hurted me. But anyway, while I was at the hospital, I'm always fellowshipping. I'm always telling my story, giving my testimony. Sitting there trying to be evasive of the pain I was in. I started talking to a guy that was sitting next to me, and we just started talking, and one thing led to another of my incarceration, and he said, what? And I told him how many years I spent locked up. And when I told him I spent like 39 years of my life incarcerated, he was like, you did 39 years? No, not all at one time. And so when we was talking about it, it led me back to my very first time going to Jefferson City. I've been in boys' homes, but I've never been inside the prison. But I've always heard about Jefferson City, one of the most dangerous, treacherous prisons in America. And so when we get there, we pull up, it's this big old door that leads you to the receiving unit. When they open this big old door, it's a huge door. And you can tell it weighs probably about a ton with the strength they had to use to open it. And so as they open the door, we walk in, it's a sign that says, leave your dreams and hopes behind. Welcome to Missouri State Penitentiary, the walls. Just that sound alone, I have you like, okay, what have I got myself into? You've heard about this place. Now you see for sure that it exists. And just that alone was like, wow, scary, like you walking into a scary movie. As we got there, you go through these procedures where they spray you, they make every man get naked and they spray you down with this bug spray and stuff. But they have guys from population working down in the receiving unit. These guys will come in there and they take what they supposed to do instead of the guards doing it, inmates would do it from the population. They're serving a lot of time, a lot of lifers and stuff. They come down there and they spray you and stuff. A lot of them was creeps. The reason why I'm talking about this because when I was telling the brother I was on medication, and he wanted to know, was it because of the prisons I was in, messed my mind up, or did something happen to me, And I respect this man for even asking me, this question because, it happens to a lot of guys in prison. But unfortunately for me, I was raised up in juvenile homes and I had uncles with friends that been in and out of prison, and I was raised to act one way. Anybody step to me wrong or look at me wrong, take off on them. And that's how I've always lived. But anyway, it was guys in the city jails. Now, when you go to Jefferson City, you either being housed in the workhouse or the city jail before you get your time. And when you get your sentencing time, you might be going to Al Gore, Mobley, you might be going to several different institutions, but you start at Jefferson City. It's a receiving unit, it's called H Hall. I know a lot of you guys out there that's been there know what I'm talking about. It's called H Hall. And so you go to H Hall and you have to be there some days before you get transferred to these other institutions. And so guys that was in the city jail with me, a lot of us, we became real good friends. We became real close, and we used to talk about how we gonna do our time, and how we gonna handle our business, and things like that. And a few of my friends, they got lowered off. They got lowered off and they have never been the same. They was molested, they was taking, they let guys lower them out. These were guys that they knew at that. This is the thing too that gets me. It was guys they knew. And we always talked about it be the guys that we know are trying to trick us off when we get inside the prisons. You know what I mean? I couldn't understand why so many of them went for it. It could have been my brother. You're not lowering me off nowhere. And so a lot of that stuff happened. And it bothered me for a long time. For a long time. And it built up a lot of hate in me. And a lot of people ask me why was I always fighting in prison, because I had built up this hate in me to see how guys was getting lowered off and raped by people that they knew, and it's sad. It's still sad to me today, because I was there, to see it. and know that it happened. So when I was sitting in the hospital and I was talking to this man, I just started thinking about everything. How staff members would set us up, how they would throw our gates off for inmates, showing favors towards them. See, let me tell y'all something. 75, maybe 80% of the correctional officers that work in these institutions have something going on with them. And a lot of them, I have to just imagine, you've been working in this institution all these years, all you seeing is men's private parts, and they was getting attracted to this stuff. A lot of them officers, they was loving it, and people won't talk about it, but officers was having sex with men's in prison too, and would bring them marijuana in. How you think a lot of the drugs got into the system? People think, we getting this stuff from the visiting room. Nah, man, nobody's taking that chance to come to the visiting room and have their wives to smuggle in drugs. I don't know if it happened, if it did, but for the most part, what I know is that staff members would bring that stuff in to certain inmates to have favors done, and so officers would set you up. If I wanted to get you, say I'm good with an officer, I'm always doing his work for him, making sure his unit is ran well, and I don't got into it with you, and I want to put hands on you and stuff. I can go to him and say, hey, man, make this happen, man. I want him, and these officers would do it. A lot of killings, a lot of rapes, and a lot of them things that was going on in prison was ignored and was done and was made happen because of correctional officers. You have to understand, we don't have no keys. We don't have control to the lever, to the gates to close and open up cell doors. They do. So if an inmate is getting attacked and inmate is able to get at another inmate, 9 times out of 10, the guards made sure that it happened. And there was a lot of racism going on in prison. Whites was treated better than blacks. Only way you see blacks getting treated good, there was a known snitch in prison, telling on each other and stuff like that, So, it was a lot. I am so glad the walls got tore down. I really hated that place. And the only reason why none of those things happened to me because how I was raised. I was raised to always keep my guards up, never to trust nobody. And so that's why those things didn't happen to me. And I could feel if you had something at me or, man, I would attack you. I'm known for that. I really would attack you. And I caused a lot of stuff in prison, being in a lot of pain. I can't do time. So I would steal from other inmates. I would go in your cell. I would take your stuff and sell it to another inmate and want to know what's up, what you want to do about it. If you found out later on that I sold it, I was a troublemaker. And a lot of people think that, because I'm talking about my life and my transformation now that I'm with God and I'm living a different light, notice I wasn't always like this. I used to do a lot of bad things, and I was totally illiterate, and sometimes I don't want to blame it on my illiteracy that I was doing these things, but I done a lot of things. I would start fights with guys I didn't like that they thought they was tough. I wanted to show them that they wasn't tougher than me. I would do stuff like this. I would give guards hard time, especially ones I knew that had that racist in them, didn't like blacks. I would go after them. I've done so much time in the hole. I've been in Supermax. I've been to the basement. I've been to 5C, because I was into all type of stuff. I would play the good guy, bad guy role to lure people into my web, me and a couple of my friends, just to extort them for money. So don't think, but I've never raped anyone. I've never raped a man, I've never raped a child, I've never raped a woman. That's one thing you can exclude from me, period. That's not me. I might have played that role just to lure you in, 'cause I was a big guy, to get your money, to get you to pay me for protection from the rest of the creeps on the yard. But I've never played that role. Never. And I never will. I've done a lot of things, and I'm not proud of them, but I know to tell you about them and for you to know about me. I really want you to get to know me. I want you to know, who I am. I'm real. I don't do no lying. Well, I lied to the judge. And I've lied to the police. I have lied to my mother May she rest in peace. And I regret so many of the lies I've told her. I really do. I miss you so much, Mama. But I don't want no one to think that I've always been this goody two-shoe guy. I've always had a good heart and stuff, but when you lost, you lost. It's just that simple. And one time in my life, I was truly lost and confused. I was confused by a lot of stuff. I'm the big brother. I had sisters to protect. I had a little brother to protect. You know, I had a mother to protect. I always been like the protector, so I always had to make sure everyone that knew anybody in my family knew if you bothered them, you had to come and see me. So I worked to make the reputation and the name, you know, not to fear no one, just so you would respect me and respect my family. I never wanted no one to be scared of me. I've never been the bully type. You know, I've done a lot of stuff from pain, not because I was a bully. It was just from pain, being locked up. You seeing all this crazy stuff going on. You seeing guys get stabbed in their face and blood shooting out their face. Do you know, it was times I had where I couldn't even sleep from hearing guys crying in their cell. The administration was so wicked, they would take a young kid that's never done time in his life and put him in a cell with guys that's been locked up 10 and 15 years. It was a lot of stuff going on in the prison when I was going through the prisons. And so I did a lot of things to protect myself. A lot of things I did, it wasn't because I disliked anyone or wanted to make anybody time hard. I lived in fear too, you know, and fear make you cautious. Fear make you think of ways how you can make sure the things you see happening to other people won't happen to you. You know, and so I did what I had to do to survive prison. And I've asked God repeatedly to forgive me, you know, to have mercy on me. And he has shown that mercy on my life, you know, and he has given me, you know, this job, you know, this mission to reach out to you all, hoping that my story and the truthfulness of my story will help you not go inside these prisons, you know, so that's why I'm here today. I woke up with it just so heavy on my heart, like I just have to just tell y'all this. And I know a lot of you is going to testify that I'm telling the truth about Jefferson City. It was a real terrible place. And if you showed any sign of weakness, you was a target. Any sign, it could be just this much of weakness. You had the guards coming after you, inmates coming after you. I mean, it was bad. It really was bad. You know, and so when I was telling the guy about me coming home and have to be on medication, and I had to explain to him I was on medication because I learned that I was suffering from what they call PTSD. And the reason being, my therapist said that for all those years, I lived one way. And I still get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I still stretch real good before I walk out of my bedroom because my cell was my bedroom. My cell was my bathroom. You know, so it was my domain. So when I wake up in prison, as soon as I get my foot on the other side of the bed, I get up and I stretch real good. I do my push-ups, get the blood running through my body because I have to before the gates open. Because when the gates open, I don't know, I have enemies. And I lived that way in prison all those years, believing that everybody in prison was my enemy. Everyone. Staff, it didn't matter. Guys I called my friends, and they will tell you. Some's gonna come on the show and they will tell you, I'm not the guy to easily trust no one when I was in prison. You might think I was trusting you. No, I was watching you. I needed you where I could keep my eyes on you because I always felt like everybody is up to something. You know, everybody, you know, every day. That's how I lived in my mind. And so when I came home after serving all those years in prison, you know, I still had my guards up. It's like I was still living inside that prison environment. Then as I was warming up to being transforming back into society, I was getting sad all over again, losing my parents. You know, I was breaking down. You know, I would cry. I mean, I was crying so much. I even had relatives who I don't fool with today making fun of me crying so much, wondering what happened to me, you know, instead of trying to Instead of trying to see what was going on with me, everybody was making fun of me. You know, they broke him down in there. What happened to Stanley when he was in there? You know, it was the pain from losing my mother. I never got a chance to mourn her. You know, my son, my brother, my cousins, you know, they got killed. You know, it was friends that got killed, you know, that was close to me and I cared about. I had to deal with all that inside that prison. I had to keep everything inside me. I couldn't let go. I was afraid to let go because I didn't want people to really see, you know what I'm saying, this other side of me, this compassionate side of me. You know, I didn't want to feel vulnerable. I didn't want guys to start looking down on me. But I ended up having my own family to look down on me when I came home. I was so depressed. I didn't know I was carrying so much pain until I came home. You know, I thank God that I finally made the decision to get up and go get help. Listen, my family members was doing so much to me, it was scaring the wicks out of me. At one time, I was afraid to come out of my house. I was so afraid. I had got behind in my rent because I was too afraid to come out and go to work. I was too afraid to drive Uber. You know, I had got so afraid because everybody was doing stuff to me that I've never allowed anyone to do to me, like taking my last money for a TV. I just come home and you come over to my house acting like you come to see about me, you care about me, and you take my last $35 and I'm telling you, this is my last, man. Do this TV work? Yeah, it'll work. All you need to do is just go buy an antenna. I go buy an antenna, come to find out this TV came out of a hotel room and it couldn't be programmed because I didn't have a code to it. You know, these are things that was happening to me. You know, getting a truck repossessed. I'm paying the insurance note on this truck and let my family have it because they don't have a car, you know, and they're going to take over the truck note and I'm going to pay the insurance note. They let the truck get repossessed, killed my credit. You know, these are things going on. Stealing my charge card out of my house. That was going on with me. I mean, my own family members was doing this stuff to me, you know, and it had me shook. I was like, what does everybody have to do because I don't came home and showed this side of me? Now everybody want to take advantage of me and think I don't got soft. I'm no longer stealing. So that old prideful way of thinking was coming back. I mean, it was coming back so fast and it scared me because one thing I vowed would never ever happen to me again is going back to prison. And I saw this happening. I saw it. I saw it finna happen again. I'm finna go back to jail. I'm finna start lashing out. And it was fearing me. It was scaring the mess out of me. It had me angry. It had me so angry. It was like every day I was trying to find a way to get revenge. I want to get back. Nobody cares about me. They didn't care about me when they got my truck repossessed. They wouldn't care about me when they sold me this TV. How do I get them back? How do I get them back? I need to get them back so I can feel good about being Stanley again. It's like, man, my pride, that old pride, that stuff was creeping up on me so fast, y'all. And I'm not getting sad right now. I'm just getting mad. I'm getting re-aggravated again, just thinking about how people who I thought that loved me and cared about me was happy for me to come home after all those years that could do me like this. I couldn't understand, like, y'all forgot about the old me? I've never allowed anyone to violate me, never ever. I don't care what you heard, what you might think. I'm telling you, I have never ever allowed anyone to violate me. No shape, form, or fashion. That has never, ever happened to Stanley Prince. Not that I'm a tough guy. I just believe if you got the audacity to violate me, I got the audacity to violate you back. That's how I live. And so this was just driving me crazy. I was afraid. I was so afraid, like I saw myself going back to prison. I hated being in that place. Every day I was in that place, you might see me smiling sometimes, but I was mad as hell because I wanted to know for the longest, how do you allow yourself to be treated like this? I hate jail. I always hated jail from a juvenile. And I couldn't understand for the life of me how I let myself get trapped up in that. Going to jail, leaving my family, my mother, my sisters. For what? I hate thinking about it. But to deny my story is to deny God's glory in my life, so I have to come. I have to be obedient to his voice. God telling me to do this. This is not something Stanley want to do. But I was so afraid, y'all. I was so afraid of going back to jail. I just ran out the house and I went and got help. And I took medication for 18 months. And I was afraid to take it because I didn't want to be a wobblehead. I thought it would make me a wobblehead. But I was more alone out here than I was in prison. So I had to take it because I couldn't trust nobody. I thought I couldn't trust nobody in jail. So now I'm right back again, not trusting nobody, not even my own family. So I had to take this medication. And it helped me. Prayer, fellowshipping, going to church every day when the church doors open. I made it my business. And God did too, made sure I had affordable transportation to get to the church house. And I did it. And that's why he's using me today. And I don't have no problem with it. But I had to take this medication. And glory to God, on who I am to today. I really feel good about Stanley. I passed those tests. You know, I dealt with that. I really did. I dealt with it. I trusted God in the process that I was going through. Because I promised him, when you open these doors, surround me around good people, because I never ever want to come back to prison. I do not want to go back. Not that I'm afraid or nothing. I don't deserve to be treated like that, y'all. Listen to me. It's not physical. Everybody think jail is all about the physical. It's mental. It's so mental, it'll drive you crazy. Because every day, if you're not thinking, if you're not on point up here, you can get got. So you have to think all the time about the safety of your life. Every single second of the day, you have to. And so I can't let that happen to me again. I don't want to live locked up in my mind for the rest of my life. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't deserve to be treated like that. And I refuse to let that happen to me. And anyone out there with any type of decency in you, you don't want to live like that neither. You don't. So I had to come today because this is what God wanted me to do. I'm only doing what God asked me to do. And that's to help so many of my lost get found. I understand what a lot of my young people are going through. I even understand what a lot of my older people, my age, is going through. I truly do. I understand. And so I just want you to know, give yourself a chance. And the only way you can give yourself a chance is by reaching out to God. He got you. That's the only friend you truly need right now, not your mother, your father. But God, you put him first in your life, you'll be all right. And it's not all about getting on your knees, praying, begging. You can sit and talk to God as I'm sitting talking to you. If your heart is right, he's going to receive everything you're saying. And he's going to give you the strength. Paul even wrote it in Philippians, I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. I mean, it's there, y'all. I know a lot of people don't believe. I didn't believe for a long time. But he is so real. God is so real. So if you want to give yourself a chance to stay out here with your family and be productive and have fun, enjoy life, be in love, taking care of your family, your children, being in peace and harmony with every other human race out here, man, give yourself a chance by reaching out to God. Don't run from the struggle. I tell everybody, the thing I do today, I really embrace the struggle. I embrace it because you know why? The struggle is real. Anything that is real, I'm embracing it. If it's for the good of me, I'm going to embrace it. The struggle is real, y'all. We have to work. It is ordained in the Bible. We will have to till the ground for the rest of our life. That means work, y'all. We have to work. You're not gonna survive if you're not out here working, doing what you're supposed to do. Take care, everybody. This is Prince on the Rise. Just wanted you all to know I love you. I really do. And I'm wishing everybody, praying for everybody to have that peace, that joy, that happiness. I really want you to be out here with your family, sharing love. As always, no matter what you're going through, always think positive. Prince on the Rise. I love you. Peace. Man, I hate telling that story, man. I get in my feelings.